which is a really good opportunity. We've got the BNA opening up in the summer, so there's expected another 500,000 people will be coming to the city. So it's a really good opportunity to tap into that. So that's me. I'll just quickly kind of wrap up. So I think the key thing here is really is an opportunity to put Dundee and the city's region on the world stage. That's really the key point. And the mill is a fantastic opportunity. There's some money there to enable us to start to test out some ideas, and then to really showcase some of those ideas in the summer this year and beyond. We really see this as an ongoing sort of showcasing event. And the mill is about this. It's about bringing people together and enabling conversations and enabling these new ideas to happen. So my contact details are up there. We're not going to have time for questions at this stage. We'll probably have some time at the end to pick up any questions. So thank you very much.
Just to really underline what Simon was saying, effectively what we're offering through the is not just funding, where that's very nice and to be able to offer to the community, but this kind of resource and expertise to help you engage with the city, its residents, its infrastructure, its transport operators, its data, and wider opportunities in the city that we might not be able to yet. So we have a dedicated team in the city that can help you to access those opportunities, and we can offer you funding to help you. Hopefully we can also bring some great opportunities to us. So now I'd like to hand over to John Berry, who will be the first of the kind of policy holders across the council, who we've essentially invited to give a short presentation just to really introduce the area that they own, the challenges that they face, what they've already achieved today, and what they're hoping to achieve in the future. So John, would you like to take the stage?
Thank you very much. Is my presentation just
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am John Berry, Sustainable Transport Team Leader. I have lived in Dundee all my life, and I've been working with Dundee City Council since 2009. I'm really passionate about public transport, I'm really passionate about active travel, I'm really passionate about tackling some of the issues we have in the city, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I think, hopefully this mill project is going to give us an opportunity to explore innovative ways of tackling some of the issues we face as a city. So, what I've stuck up on here is our version of the sort of London Underground style. This is our bus network in Dundee, and it is a very extensive bus network. And I would have to say, Dundee has a fantastic bus service, fantastic commercial bus service, high frequency routes. I have been, unbelievably, I've been on 4 buses already today, and I'm still going to get a 5th bus one today. We've got high frequency routes, we've got fairly modern buses, we've got real-time information at every bus stop, you can get on your phone, we have displays. So, we have got a high-quality bus service, and that's good because this is a city that is very heavily dependent on good bus services. One of my favourite stats that I love to tell my colleagues when they're going on about roads all the time is 44.8% of households in Dundee don't have access to a car. So nearly half the households in Dundee do not have a car. We've got one of those levels of car ownership in Scotland. I think only second to Glasgow. But unlike Glasgow, we don't have a tram network or a train network. We're very much reliant on a good bus service. And we as a council want to make sure that we have good connected cities. Like I said, I feel we've got that, but we've also got a problem. The commercial bus network is shrinking. It's consolidating around key routes. So if I go back to this slide, this is the entire network, but not all those routes are at the same frequency. You can have a bus running every 5 minutes on some routes, but there are other parts of the city where you've got much less numbers of buses. And in fact, there's some pockets of the city where you've got practically nothing. And the people who are getting left behind are people like the lady in this image. People who aren't fleet of foot, who can't walk 5-10 minutes to the bus stop, can't manage the bus stop when they've got shopping bags, and there's a lot of unhappy people in Dundee, a lot of unhappy older people in Dundee who feel let down by the public transport network that we have. not just in Dundee, but it's across Scotland, it's across the UK. This is something I think is a very scalable problem and will resonate with many cities and urban areas across the UK. So I want our innovation to sort of tackle this idea of socialisation, because that's what's happening. We've got too many people who are just basically not getting out of the house. They're just not doing the things that you would expect people in their late years to be able to do. There's become a reliance on on taxis, like in this image, and it's not just older people. I've obviously got an image of the young person, the disabled young person as well. So I'm wanting our innovation solution to tackle social isolation and come up with something that's going to help people maintain their independent lifestyles. Here we go. We know for a fact that people are able to continue living in their own homes. That's going to take a huge burden off the NHS and off social care and all that stuff. So we want people to be living independent lifestyles as much as they can. We want people to be able to get down to Tesco or Asda or wherever that is and do their shopping. And we want people to do the functional things in life, go and get their hair done, go to the GP service, do that kind of stuff. But we also want people to enjoy life a little bit more. We don't always think of older people just having to do the very mundane activities. We do want people to think about enjoying their later years. And I think it would be nice if we could have a solution or an innovation that allowed people not just to carry out functional journeys, which, when they think about their hierarchy of needs, they think, I've got to get to the doctors, I've got to get to the shop, I've got to get to the podiatrist, whatever. They don't really think about enjoying themselves anymore. They are pretty much, concentrating on the must-haves. And I would like this as a city to have some of the sort of nice-to-have activities. So I'm hoping our solution, our innovation, will begin to tackle this particular issue of socialisation. Now, as a council, in terms of what we have in assets, is I think we have minibuses, underused minibuses. We've got a significant fleet of minibuses that are either allocated to schools, and they do school runs in the morning at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, they do school run in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, but they're underutilised in the middle part of the day, they're underutilised at weekends, evenings, summer holidays, Easter holidays, October holidays. There's a lot of capacity in our system in Dundee, and I would like us to come up with a solution that somehow connects our vehicles and our drivers, because we have plenty of drivers also sitting around looking for activities to do, and we sometimes find it quite hard to usefully engage them during downtimes. What are they doing during the summer holidays? They spend a lot of time polishing the bonnet and that kind of stuff. So we want to use that asset and connect those assets with the people you see in this picture, the older people that you see in this picture. And I'd like to think that we will come up with some kind of innovation over the next 2-3 years as part of the MIL project that really tackles this issue of getting older people connected back with their local communities. I know it's a problem in terms of technology, because one of the things I hear again and again and again is older people don't use mobile phones, older people don't use the internet, all that kind of stuff. And that's patently true, and I would imagine that, in terms of percentage terms, 80% of the age of 75 will never go anywhere near a smartphone. But, I'd like to think we can still harness some of the technology to improve their lot and to improve that idea of connectivity around the city for the people who live here. So, when Simon was doing his presentation, he was reminding me we talked about, other elements of mobility as a service. What I've obviously concentrated on is the area that I think that we have the greatest need, and that is, the older people and disabled people. And I think it's a hugely scalable project, because I think, as I said before, there are cities and communities all over the country, all over the world, who are grappling with this issue as public transport networks contract and decrease. You've got this increasing aged population who are just not doing the activities that you would expect, and that you hopefully would expect for your parents, or that you can look forward to in later life. So that's what I'm hoping we'll get out of the MIL over the next 2-3 years. Hope I said enough. I don't know if we're doing Q&As now or at the end, but it's good stuff. Okay, and I've got about 3 minutes to spare. That's good stuff. Thanks.
And it was quite deliberate that we invited John to go first, because the starting point for the innovation that we're trying to support in the city, that we're trying to seed fund, is making a difference to people's lives. Having a transformative impact on people's lives, giving them access to new opportunities, be that employment, healthcare services, education, leisure activities. That's all part of the transport programme, trying to advance the support in the city. And I think John set that up excellently. Okay. So moving on to fleet and the second lot that we're trying to support. I'd like to hand over to Gary McRae, who's corporate fleet manager at Dundee.
Thanks very much. Sorry, I don't have any nice pictures. Right last minute as usual. Thanks. I say my name's Gary McRae, I'm the corporate fleet manager. I'm kind of here today with two hats on, so I'll go through them both. The first one is the day job. Our day job as a corporate fleet manager is to run a large local authority's fleet of vehicles. So on a day-to-day basis, we have about 650 vehicles that we manage, ranging from cars, vans, tractors, bin lorries, the whole range of every kind of vehicle you can imagine. We also look after 521 items of plant, so that's from hedge trimmers to ride lawn mowers to trailers, everything. So when we talk about managing them, we talk about we buy them, we maintain them, we work with the user departments to look after them for the life of them, and we dispose of them. So we get involved in a whole lot of operational sides because we're trying to make the best use of assets that we have, and we're trying to make, obviously, save money for departments. We're really involved in every operation across the council as far as their fleet go. At the moment, we have a fleet management system that we use, a computerised fleet management system. We have telematic systems that we use. So we, as a fleet section, we feel we're quite modern. We've got the technology in there. It's about how do we take that forward, how do we take it to the next level. And I'll come on to some of the challenges, some of the areas that we're interested in and looking around about that. But I'll go to my second hat. So our second hat is all the stuff we do with electric vehicles. So I think we said today we've got 87 electric vehicles in the city. So we're responsible for all them, cars and vans. We're also responsible, my team, for all the infrastructure that's been put in the city. And that's not just for the council vehicles, that supports the taxi fleet, that supports the public. So we've been very lucky, we feel, and being able to have the fleet and have this charging infrastructure going side by side, because we've been able to lead by example. We've been able to put the vehicles in, we've been able to use the chargers, we've been able to show everybody that it does work. So those two, although they're two separate hats, they come together, and we really like the fact that we're able to demonstrate to everybody that the technology works and it's a real asset for the city. Something John talked about, another thing we do is the school transport activity. We've recently taken on the management of that and working with John to try and utilise these vehicles more. All of our day jobs is to try and get the utilisation of vehicles up. Unfortunately, our local authority, we can only use them in certain activities and certain times of the day, so it's about how can we open that up to the rest of the community, to different organisations. We use, like I say, the school transport's a perfect example. We only do them in the mornings and in the afternoons. We've got a Meals on Wheels service. We deliver lunches and evening meals at a set time in the day. The vehicles then sit around other points of the day. So one of our main tasks has been trying to work with departments to share those vehicles and the assets. So really the challenges that we're looking at, like say fleet optimisation, how can we do that? It's really, sometimes it's quite tricky. Bin lorries, there's not a whole lot of people out there want to use refuse collection trucks when we're not using them, but we're working with our internal departments to change their shift patterns to use them longer, but we're really be keen as there are ways we can share that with neighbouring local authorities, with other organisations. How can we share these assets, that are very expensive assets that are sitting doing nothing some of the time? Reducing costs, that's, everybody's under pressure just now, so another one of our main challenges is how do we reduce the cost for the user department. So if we can share these assets with other people, then there's a reduction to the council. We can save money for the council and possibly save money for other organisations. So if there's ways that can be brought forward, that would be really interesting for us. And kind of the final main area we're interested in, reducing the environmental impact. Obviously, I've told you the number of vehicles we've got on the streets, so that is a huge environmental impact for the city. So everything we do is about trying to improve reduce the environmental impact, the air quality, the CO2. So we made a huge start in our electric vehicles, the small vans, but we've still got a huge way to go. We've not touched the grass cutting machinery, the ride lawn mowers, the hedge trimmers, the RCVs. We've still got a lot of work to do, so there's a lot of areas that we're really keen to work with people and try and develop those new technologies going forward. And I think what we say is that what we think is an innovative approach that we've taken over the years is to work with all the different public bodies and businesses in the city. We don't just sit as a council and work on our own. like we said earlier on today, we work with the NHS, the university, Dundee and Angus College, we work with the taxi industry, we've got very close relationships with them, we really help them change the electric vehicles. So I think that's when we talk about a good reason to come to Dundee. Dundee is quite a small city, we all know each other, everybody in Dundee knows somebody that knows somebody, and it helps to get projects off the go. If we don't know what to do, we know somebody that will know who can help us. So that's a real benefit to the city, and a real why we think if people can bring things here, we can prove their work. I think we said a few times today, because I'm sure it's very clear that we just have gone on and done stuff, and we're very keen to carry on just getting on and doing stuff and proving that it works, and showing the world that we're here just to try new things, to be innovative and try and help. And that's me. My aim when I got up here was to beat John for how much time I could do it. Quicker than I've done it by like 40 seconds. So that's me. Thank you very much.
I think the work that Gary and his colleague Fraser have done around electric vehicles really gives an excellent example of the kind of thing that can be achieved in Dundee. The status of the city, not just in Scotland but across Europe, has been an absolute beacon for electric vehicles. And part of that is because the city is this ideal proving ground for that kind of technology. It's a very compact city with a dense population, and then, of course, the strong political leadership and the enthusiasm that exists from officers to make things happen. So, again, the key message for today is that Dundee is a great place to invest, and we're hoping to use this procurement as an opportunity to help you to do that. So our next presentation is from Ken Kidd. He's going to give you an overview of, again, some of the progress that's been made today around parking and some of the challenges and opportunities that are working towards in the future.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am, as you can see, the acting team leader for parking. I've been in post for 2.5 months, so fairly new to the post, but I've been with parking for the last 12 years, since 2005, in senior parking officer capacity, so I know a fair bit about Dundee's parking just now. My team consists of 35 employees. We've got 18 enforcement staff who are out delivering every day in all inclement weather, like we have just now, with the sleet and snow today, they're all bitterly cold. We have strategically located car parks around the inner ring road, providing 5,000 parking spaces. They're all open 24/7, and we have 17 charging car parks in the city centre, 3 in Broughty Ferry. There are also approximately 530 on-street parking spaces available within the city centre. I must stress at this point, the cost of delivering the parking services is cost neutral for the residents of Dundee, and any profit that we make in our operation is reinvested in other transportation projects. We have 4 multi-storey car parks which all operate a pay-on-foot system for parking, and all of our on-street parking meters accept credit card payments as well as cash. All of our payment systems for parking are networked and provide real-time information. That's delivered by 2 companies just now called Metric and Conduit. We have also, as Gary mentioned, we provide faster trickle charge EV points in all of our multi-storey car parks, and these are used every day, and they're constantly in use every day for all the EVs that are now emerging on the scene, particularly in Dundee. And it's not all Gary's vehicles that are parked there every day. Can we come on to the future for parking, because this is where you guys can help out. We're looking to, I'll give you a flavour of what we're actually going to be delivering in the coming months, coming years. We're about to implement a new residence parking scheme for a number of specified areas adjacent to the city centre. We found that out with the CPZ, the controlled parking zone we have, a number of people will just park on the streets, so we're looking to extend that further across the city and out with the city centre. We're also looking to introduce a new online resident permit scheme to assist customers when applying for permits, because just now that's paper-based, through an application form, V5 documentation, council tax proof, etc. We're also looking to introduce a sliding scale for parking for monthly tickets to encourage small businesses to take up the discounted rate for parking, particularly in our multi-storey car parks where we can offer up to a 30% reduction. The newer stuff that we're looking at is to get a park assist system which uses cameras to identify if a car is parked in a car parking space, either on street or in a car park. And you can now get apps which will tell you there's a parking space in one of our main city centre streets, say Whitehall Crescent, for example, and people can quite easily find that parking space on their mobile phones. It's all about mobile phone technologies, developing them and taking them forward. On the payment side, we're looking to introduce cashless wave and pay solutions, and these are set to not eliminate but supplement the need to carry cash or use the chip and PIN facilities that we have in all our meters. Another biggie for us is we're looking to go into shared services with other local authorities. Across in Fife, we've got Angus, Perth and Kinross, and we have a meeting commencing this next month with the 3 authorities just to take us forward. For example, we maybe have greater clout in purchasing uniforms for all our parking staff at a vastly reduced price to what we're currently paying. It's just a good example of that. And finally, the mill Lot 3, which has the £400,000 available, that's the highest pot is Lot 3. You're looking to tap into that for any other innovative ideas with parking, which you could possibly bring up to our attention, which we can take forward in the future. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to break it to you, Gary, but can you be
I know, it's not.
I think the interesting thing about parking is looking at it in terms of not just as a service, but clearly parking as a service is a real area of innovation, but also as an underpinning infrastructure that enables a number of other innovative mobility products and services that are able to prove the city as a living laboratory. So our next presentation is from Andrew Keston, who's leading on the development of Dundee's open data platform.
Thanks, David, and thanks everyone for coming along. So I'm based in the IT department in Dundee City Council, responsible for GIS and also open data as well. This is a complementary project to the mill laboratory that's also funded by ERDF and Smart Cities and the Scottish Cities Alliance. And what we're looking to do is to try and embed open data and better use of data within the council. So how this ties in with Block 4 of the tender is really to take this data that we're looking to supply for this project and try and develop innovative services with that and try and use it in a much more innovative way than we would be able to do. So that's why we're trying to open data up, let anyone else access it, and also potentially the mill as well, and try and see ways we can reuse that data to either improve service delivery from the council or to deliver new innovative services to the citizens of Dundee, especially around mobility. So what we're doing on the Open Data project is looking to bring in a policy for council that will try and open up data by default, so that we'll actually just share data without having to go through a complicated process to be able to do that. People will need to ask us for data and try and actively share that. We're also putting in an open data platform, and that's based on CCAN, which is quite a common way of sharing data as well with our stream system. So anyone that was looking to use that within the city would be able to put data sets on there, to be able to retrieve data about the council, from the council as well, and use it to visualise data or to retrieve or share information. And we're looking to also build capacity within the communities of Dundee, so to try and give people skills to be able to use data within community groups or within their different areas to try and solve the challenges of the city, and also bring up council staff from that journey as well. And that's where the mill can really help with that, to try and identify new ways that we'll be able to use data and try and build our services based on it. So some of the benefits we're looking to get from that project is just to try and improve access to information for citizens, to make it easy for people to find things out about the city and to grow out their business, and also to stimulate economic growth and service innovation. That's really where the mill comes in now, like all the speakers before try and really develop ideas in Dundee and then expand them out across Scotland. But we also want to try and develop the capacity to allow data to drive decisions that are made within Dundee as well. Some of the examples that might be relevant for longer term, like John was saying, we've got real-time bus information. We use that to predict when buses might arrive at bus stops. How can that possibly be used to try and plan services and help operators understand how busy different services are, what services are most successful, but then also maybe looking at machine learning, like Simon was talking about. How can we predict the impact of traffic on bus services to try and deliver more robust timetable, for example? That's the kind of thing that the real-time information can help deliver, but it's not really used for that at the moment. Like I was saying, we also have telematics from almost an entire fleet or an entire fleet. We collect that data, we use it to manage the fleets and manage the service we provide, but what other insights could that deliver for mobility in the city? We've got a floating fleet of, I was looking out the windows, quite a few council vehicles going past, and they're driving around, giving you, we can understand how traffic is flowing all the time across the city using our own fleet there. What about maybe looking and exploring predictive analytics for your waste management service? How many people are going to be presenting their recycling bin on different days of the year to try and deliver a more efficient service, ensure that the crews can get around there every day, and also that they're not wasted finishing a route after a couple of hours. We've also got loads of EV chargers, like Ken was saying, we've got them all over the city. How can we understand which are best places to put these facilities? We've already opened up data on EV charging sessions on our data platforms. You can download that and you can see which chargers are busiest, how long people are staying there. That can help develop a case to present to businesses to install chargers in their car parks. How many people are visiting, how long are they staying charging their cars up, which sites are busiest at different times of the day. How could opening up this data help people understand where to come and park their car? Could we put rapid charging status on our available message signs for people coming into the city? So all the kind of stuff that we've got the data, we want to open it up and let people actually explore and try and see how we can reuse that. Parking as well, like Kenny was saying, there are multi-stories and many of our pay on foot car parks. They've got ANPR, number plate recognition in the ticket barriers, so you can understand what type of vehicles are coming in, how long they're staying in the city centre. And in terms of improving air quality, how could more emission zones possibly impact on that? How can we understand how that would all fit in? We have data on what kind of cars are coming in the city. We have data on how long they're staying parked in certain parts of the city. And how could that be understood, for example, to try and see, well, how can you change behaviours to move people onto public transport or to change the type of vehicles that are coming into town? This is all just some of the ideas that we've got, some of the data that we have that we can share. And what we really want from the middle is from what for is for people to take that and to explore it further and to try and help influence what data we can share as a council or what data as a city we can share and how we can really innovate and develop new services from using that data and try and help solve some of the mobility challenges that John was talking about using some of the data that we can use to help drive those decisions. Thank you.
And just to emphasise what Andrew was saying, it's about not just collecting data, but same data, but actually building on the fact that Dundee and Scotland and Ireland was committed to the GA open data principles. So we need all lots to connect into that, not just lot 4. We're looking to generate more open data from all of the activities that we support in Dundee. And around this lot specifically, we're looking to find commercially valuable uses for the data that's generated. So there needs to be a clear case or a business model for doing it, or it needs to be able to provide us with data that we couldn't otherwise access. But again, that there is a clear use or business model for collecting that data going forward. So our final presentation is from Karen Wilson, who is procurement manager at the City Council, and she'll talk you through the process of moving through this.
Okay, this is the sad admin bit of the after all the lovely innovative ideas that people are bringing to the table. The tender itself will be published on Public Contracts Scotland, which is the Scottish Government advertising portal. That's where the prior information notice currently is. So anyone that's interested, please register as a supplier on the portal as quickly as you can. If you don't know how to do so, the procurement team in Dundee will be quite happy to talk you through that process. There's also help from the Supplier Development Programme, SDP, and Public Contracts Scotland consent, so please don't be lost in that process. As David and Simon mentioned, the tender is going to be published on the week beginning 8th of January 2018, so if you could look out for that there. What we will do is we'll put a link with the prior information notes as well that will take you through to the tender information. Any questions you've got after that point will need to be registered through the Public Contracts Scotland portal, because what we do is we share any responses with all bidders, so everyone's getting all the information and fair and equal treatment in that. What I think is important is if you've not tendered before, don't assume we know you, even though you think we know you. This is your opportunity for a sales pitch, and there will be an evaluation process that we go through, so it's absolutely key that you don't assume that we know something about you. Make sure you put it down in the submission that you make. Please follow the details that are in the tender's instructions, and if you're not sure, again, please ask. We are there to support you in that. There will be a submission deadline, and no late submissions can be accepted after that point. So again, it's absolutely key that you just follow the processes. So I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for listening to my part of the story. Thank you.
And I'm sure you're all very grateful that we didn't put the tender out just before Christmas. It's often the case with these kind of opportunities, so it's a little bit waiting until the new year so you can come out with lots of renewed enthusiasm. Okay, so I'm now going to open the floor to questions. We have to work out a way of doing it on a question-by-question basis, but any specific questions that we'd like to ask any of the people who have presented today, we'll try and answer them across the room, and really just try and get a bit of dialogue going around some of these season opportunities. Try not to do the sales pitches, if that's okay. This isn't really the forum for that, but if you'd like to introduce who you are and the company name, tiny bit about what you do, that's okay, but we will be assessing the bids rather than the conversations that we have there. So yes, is there anyone who would like to ask a question? Either ourselves or any people represented?
Yeah, Phil Lord from my team. We make lighting for houses, a number of filling stations. I get the sense that the focus is almost exclusively on battery electric vehicles and fossil fuels electric vehicles. Is that correct?
No, so there's no exclusive focus on electric vehicles in this. This is about innovation and mobility. Dundee has achieved extraordinary things with electric vehicles. Any opportunity to continue in that is obviously very welcome, but there's no restriction on kind of technologies and fuels that will be supported going forward.
Do you anticipate several winners in each lot, and do you have an idea of the size of each project?
That's an excellent question.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes, so the question was, do we expect several winners in each lot, or is it a single supplier for each one? We're really looking forward to find out what kind of proposals we get. Being straight down the line, the ideal project would be one where the suppliers are co-investing in it. So we can ask you to be realistic about how much money you actually need to achieve this in the city. We also are keen to give opportunities to smaller organisations that might have smaller opportunities that they have the technology, they have a solution, they just need a city to test it in, or they need access to the support that we can offer them to help work with the council or other players or actors in the city or access to the city's data. So we're interested in ideas. The money that's advertised is the total amount of money that we have against each of the funds. Having said that, we wouldn't rule out, if we get an excellent quality top whack of funding, and that's the project that comes out best, then we'd love to support that. The procurement will be heavily weighted towards quality as well, so we can factor in those kind of opportunities. And the other thing to point out as well is that clearly not all of the projects will neatly fall into one lot, so that's something else that we need to point out, that there will be cross-cutting opportunities between different areas of the project. Again, that's something we'd welcome in a sort of smart city context, but we would encourage you to align with what you think it fits best. Graham?
I was going to ask that question, basically, there's a bit of telepathy, and say, what if you've come up with something that you think can cross lots? How would that be viewed? And obviously, it's looking at the overall total allocation. Is there flexibility, I guess, if you say something that's primarily focused on lot 4, but say as outcomes from lot 2, how might you deal with the allocation of the funding available across those?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to work through it, is the honest answer. We don't know what we're going to get yet. One of the things I would emphasise though is we're looking for stuff that meets a real need in the city and that has a genuine value to you as a company. You know, we're not looking to just do academic experimentation for the sake of it. We're looking to partner with companies that have solutions that are just looking for a city to kind of prove them in, and are looking for that support to demonstrate that it works, and support in scaling it up to other Scottish cities and around the world. And that's what the mill's all about. That's the kind of model that we're trying to advance, is to help create those economic opportunities, and hopefully Dundee and Scotland will benefit from that in terms of jobs created. And so that just underline, it's not just restricted to Scottish companies, but obviously if there's a local economic impact, that's a huge tick in the box for what we're trying to achieve in the project. Any other questions? John, I'm not sure you're allowed to ask me.
No, I just want to speak about bike share.
Okay, yeah, good. Do you want to take the stage actually?
A bit impromptu, but I was conscious that lot 5, with zero money attached to it, is bike share. Dundee is going to be a mecca for tourists in a couple of years' time, at least that's what we all hope. And I think, we really need to have some bike sharing in the city. We have no bike sharing really to speak of in Dundee. It's a couple of bike hire opportunities, and I'm really hoping that, like many other cities across the UK, we will have a bike sharing scheme that comes to us through this opportunity and says, this is what we can do. Although it's got zero money against it, I'm not stupid enough to think that we will get it absolutely for no money, but there's a lot of active travel money in Scotland at the moment. The government, Nicholas Sturgeon programme for government, doubled the amount of active travel money from £40 million to £80 million. We're spending a lot of money on various bits of investment. That coupled with the tourists, we've got 2 universities here, loads of students. I'm really hoping we have something. We're going to have an active travel hub that's been funded by European money just on the opposite side of the DNA, so between the river and the Slessor Gardens, there's going to be a sort of a public space, and within that there's going to be sort of a cafe active travel hub from where I think bike hire schemes can be sort of centred and based. So there's real opportunity. Docked systems, dockless systems, I think we're open to offers, and we're very happy to get from anybody who's thinking about offering that service to Dundee.
Just a quick one, the red bikes that are at the train station just now, are those Navigogo?
They are, those are Abellio's bike and go scheme, which is, I come through the train station, I'm not sure how successful they are in terms of usage. But they're part of the ScotRail franchise. ScotRail, when Abellio got the gig for ScotRail, they said they would roll out bike and go to multiple stations across Scotland, so that's where they've come about. There are some Navigogo bikes in Dundee right now, so I beg your pardon, there are some Next bikes in Dundee right now. They're here very temporarily as part of the Navigogo project that some of you guys might have heard about. And if you walk into town, you might pass them because they're just by the Malmaison Hotel, which is just about a 2-minute walk from here. But they're only here through the winter, and they'll be gone again in the spring, back to Glasgow, Stirling, or wherever they came from. But so we don't have any ties with any bike sharing scheme at the moment. And we're quite interested to hear what's out there.
John, the new space, Tatran and Abellio for the bikes at train station as well?
That's right. So we've got a brand new railway station being built across the road, and tucked in behind the railway station, which is being built by Dundee City Council, is going to be a brand spanking new, huge bike shelter, which is half paid for by Abellio and half paid for by Dundee City Council, and that'll be another asset to have somewhere where people can actually leave their bikes near the railway station. Is that what you mean?
Tap tap, but yeah.
Catch up in for it. Good stuff. Catch up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Catch up. Okay. Good.
Because you've got statistics on the ownership of banks within the city
We
as well,
have,
don't you?
yeah, I love stats, but I mean, we have very low levels of bank ownership in Dundee. I mean, we've got a lot of, one of the other issues that might be worth, I'd love a bit of innovation, is storage for bikes, because we've got huge numbers of tenements in Dundee, huge numbers of people who have to keep their bikes in their living room and in their hallway and in the closely and all that thing. So that's a real problem that we have, that people say they don't know where to keep their bikes. So bike sharing kind of works for that, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Hey John, Tom here from Ergo, the Douglas bike sharing company.
Yeah.
Just in terms of parking when it comes to the bike share scheme, are you looking for the bikes to be locked around bicycle stands, or are you open to the free floating that comes with Douglas?
Tom, it's nice to meet you because you sent me a few emails and your emails have your photograph on. It's very, you know, it's a good touch that. I would say we as a city are entirely open to offers. I mean, I'm not massively experienced in bikes here. I get my information from reading the local transport today, and I saw that image, for example, from China of the graveyard and dockless bikes. So I mean, whether we go dockless or docked, whether we effectively allow you to leave your bikes attached to, you know, pre-existing bike stands, which are, you know, dumb bike stands, if I can put it that way. You know, we're very open to ideas, absolutely.
I know the bike sharing thing is sort of, I wouldn't say it's an outlier, but it's, you know, it's quite a well-contained thing. One of the things that we can offer through the resources that we have in the mill is to help you better understand those opportunities. So if you're looking to invest in Dundee, we can help you gain access to the users to better understand the kind of solutions that they're looking for, the local businesses, all those kind of, all the stuff that you would otherwise have to do for yourself. We will have a team of people that can help you to create a market for your solutions, prove that it works in Dundee, and help you to scale it up across Scotland. Lynne.
I have a question. Obviously, budget day to day, and budgets are decent, and we've got streets in the winter that become icy and pavements as well. Would it be possible that you have overseas situations where street cleaning comes from below, so your football parks have undersoil heating? Could we have things running through the sewers and things so that we could have salt-free roads?
Did anyone catch that? There's interesting opportunities to avoid ice falling on city streets.
Radiation? No, that's a bit too far.
Yeah, radiation is probably not the best way to do that. Probably be quite effective. Any questions?
Keith Stark from Enterprise Capital. Are you expecting people to form consortiums where they can provide part of the solution of the lots before they go to tender, or would you, when they can't? Because John's brief was very much around active travel and shared transport, where you can't cover the whole part of the lot, but you can cover part of that lot. Are you expecting people to form consortiums before you go to tender, or is that something that you would facilitate?
So I think there's probably space in this project for all kinds of solutions. So you know, John set out a compelling vision of what he's trying to achieve, and we encourage people that are trying to meet those solutions. John's got a huge portfolio, and there's a huge portfolio across the council as well. So I think, you know, I think there's space for all kinds of things. So we don't put off if the keyword we were listening out for today wasn't mentioned. Please don't be discouraged from bidding if that's the case. Consortiums would be great. It's not, I think again, I don't want to sound like I'm restricting myself too much, but we are not. It's not innovation for the sake of innovation. So if a consortium makes sense because your business priority is to deliver this solution in a certain way, and you're trying to open up a market for yourself in that area, and that's going to doing this in Dundee will improve the transport infrastructure and services in the city, and lead to commercial opportunities for your business that we can help to scale up elsewhere, then please do feel free to work with partners on this, but that's not something that we would necessarily look favourably or unfavourably on. It's not something we consider. I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is the reason that we're procuring all of these lots at the same time is that we're looking to make connections between the different suppliers. So our strategy is quite simple. We're looking for a critical mass of good stuff in the city. So we're trying to prove that Dundee is a place where mobility innovation can flourish. And we're trying to give businesses the best opportunity to prove that and to take that forward. We think that by combining expertise in a variety of different suppliers, that we can help open up new opportunities for those partners that we'll be working with. You know, this is not a client-supplier type relationship. We're looking to procure partners that we can co-invest in solutions with and give them that seed funding to making sure that things happen for the city and for Scotland as well. Neil.
Neil Gardner from background, senior partnership manager there, and also team lead for Connected Trade with T-Cities deal. Just a question around one of the earlier slides talked about Dundee as part of the T-Cities region. In terms of the solutions that are coming up, how much is that restricted by Dundee city boundaries, which are 9 miles long, 3 miles wide? The city obviously serves a far bigger area than that. So in terms of you assessing plots that come forward, how much of the external into and out of Dundee is that taken into consideration?
I don't think I can answer this and not be slightly cryptic. So the truth is that people and emissions and transport don't respect municipal boundaries. And Dundee is a city is about just under 150,000 people, but it's the main employment and retail centre for a wider population of about 400,000 people. Dundee is about an hour and a half from pretty much everywhere in Scotland, the main population centres in Scotland. So strategically located in the national infrastructure network, and that's really, really important to the city and why Dundee is an ideal test bed for a lot of these solutions. There is a big focus on regional integration and lots of extraordinary things happening around the K-Cities deal. For anyone that isn't aware of that, that's Dundee, Crichton, Ross, Angus, and Fife as well. So I would look at that more as an opportunity to easily scale up some of these things, because the reality is the funding for this is coming from Europe, via the Scottish Cities Alliance, and the match funding is coming from Dundee City Council. So it's really, really important that these investments deliver for the city of Dundee. So that is our main focus, and I think we're right to draw attention to the fact that there is this wider regional opportunity. And certainly we will be working very closely with neighbouring authorities, as well as the other 6 cities in Scotland to try and scale up these opportunities going forward. John.
John Nelson, University of Aberdeen. You mentioned November 2019. I presume that's because the current funding envelope extends to that period. But as you've said, I mean, this is about capacity building and going into the future. So it's a bit like an interview question, but so what will success for the mill look like over a 5, 10-year horizon and beyond?
That's an excellent question. We're glad you asked it. Success is not that the funding ends and the project ends in the service or infrastructure. So one of the things that we would like to hear from you is what happens after November 2019. What can we expect to happen after the funding runs out? The other thing that I'd like to draw attention to is the fact that November 2019 is just when we have to spend the money by. So we are very happy to continue to support you in the city in terms of the resource and the expertise and capacity that we have in the mill program team and the support of the Dundee City Council and wider stakeholders in the city. But we will not necessarily have any additional funding to offer you beyond that point. So if your project needs to run for longer to prove that it'll work for your business, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to program it, but just be aware that the the investment that we can offer only extends out to November. But if your kind of sign of co-investment is that we're going to keep this going for a long time beyond that, then that would be an absolute mark of quality in terms of how we look at the project and would appeal to us. The other thing to point out is part of the offer around the mill. As I've said many times, it's not just about the money that we can give you, it's around the expertise. The team that we have a huge amount of expertise in accessing funding, like innovation bids. Paul, who's program manager, is involved in the second Transport Systems Catapult, who's head of innovation projects at Dundee, which I'm sure many of you know. So Ian has an astonishing track record of bringing big innovation projects together, and when the funding that we will provide support to do that. Similarly, Simon was part of the £24 million Future City Glasgow project and has been instrumental in securing big investments into smart city type initiatives. And the wider team at Foresight beyond kind of office in Dundee is also available to help with this, as well as the excellence offices across Dundee City Council and Scottish Cities Alliance, the other cities. So please recognise that part of the offer is not just the money, but also the support that we're going to offer to help make these projects more than just a kind of pilot, but into something that has a real transformative impact on the city, hopefully on your organisation, and creates real opportunities for Scotland going forward. Any more questions? So we have a little bit more time. If the officers that were here are agreeable, I'm going to ask you to just hang around for a little bit longer so people can have a quick chat with you. Is that okay with everyone? So if you could just stand up and let people know where you are. So Gary's over here, Gary McRae, John Barry's over there, Kenny's over at the back, to talk about parking. Fraser's also here as part of the fleet. Karen's over there to talk about procurement. I'm very surprised no one's asking any questions about procurement, so yeah, Karen's there to talk about procurement. And where's Andrew going? Andrew's here as well to talk about data as well. So thank you all for coming. I hope you're as excited about the mill and the ShareMORE innovation pilots going forward. This is hopefully just the first round of funding. We're working very hard to find more investment opportunities. So if your business doesn't quite fit with this, please do stay in touch. Please continue to follow what we're doing, because we're really keen to make more great stuff happen in the city. And if you're interested in this international festival of big ideas that we're trying to create, really telling you about it today is an opportunity for you to get involved as early as possible. It will be happening at the same time as the Open Golf Championships. That is the most televised event in the UK sports calendar, I think, certainly in Scotland. People from around the world will be coming to Dundee. We're already talking to some major players that are looking to back that and make that happen. So hopefully a great shot window for organisations that are interested to get involved in stuff like this in Dundee. And just another example of the kind of exposure and profile that we're trying to give to the people that will be co-investing in these solutions in the city. So thank you very much for coming today, and if I don't get to see you before the end of the day, have a great Christmas, and we look forward to receiving your proposals in a couple of months' time.
Funny times I was in London this week and we had a energy numbers. Question for you. Particularly the fleet side of things. One of the things I was thinking about Thank you.